Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am TaylaAndre. Waking up with TaylaAndre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Today is Freaky Friday, and we got some freak in today's Friday. I'm really excited for today's conversation. As far as beginning is concerned, we're going to hit you off with the news you should know, because there's everything and anything going on in the world. For those that are currently watching on the TaylaAndre platforms, we are moving, and everything is being moved to SparkFM. So download the app, share, subscribe with your friends, and meet us at SparkFMOnline. All other platforms will be streaming on Spark's Facebook, Stitch, and YouTube. And so if you're watching on YouTube, you can always watch on Spark's YouTube. And so with that being said, happy Father's Day, daddies, to the real daddies, And today's Uncle Terry's birthday. And if you don't know, I have like 3 daddies, because Uncle Terry is like a father to me. He is absolutely amazing. I love me some Uncle Terry. And it's absolutely one of those relationships where there's no words. There are no words. There are no words. And so the famous story of Uncle Terry is, I was 2 or 3 years old, and I climbed out of the bed and I went to go search for Uncle Terry, who was on the 2nd floor. And of course, he did not hear me, and I fell asleep on the stairs crying for Uncle Terry all night. I'm trying to figure out how everybody knew I was on the stairs crying for him all night, and nobody came and got me though. Can we talk about that part? Let's talk about that. How y'all know I was on the stairs crying all night and didn't nobody come get me? But I wanted my Uncle Terry. So there was, even if somebody came and got me, I knew where I wanted to be. 2 executions in South Carolina are currently blocked until the state can form a firing squad. We've been talking about this because it's crazy to me that South Carolina was like, listen, it's 2021. We need to bring back the firing squad. And so there are 2 executions that are awaiting. The state Supreme Court on Wednesday blocked the planned execution of Brad Sigmund and Freddie Owens until they can choose how to die. Under new capital punishment law, inmates are able to choose death by electrocution, lethal injection, or firing squad, which they just passed recently in the last 4 months. Sigmund and Owens both chose lethal injection, but the state doesn't have the necessary drugs for that method of execution. Like, you can't go online and order it, because I swear there's somebody right now on Google who carries it. Corrections officer have also not yet assembled a firing squad. Therefore, electrocution will only be the only option. Who gets to become the person? Like, what are the qualifications to be on the firing squad? What are your qualifications? That's my question. What are the qualifications to be on the firing squad? Because now you got to live with this. It's completely different when you're like, oh, I was doing what I was supposed to do. You know, I just pressed the button and the machine did it. I just, lowered the lever. But this actually puts bullet to hand. And firing squad usually have like 5 different individuals. Some of them have bullets, some of them have blanks. But it doesn't, you're always wondering, like, was my bullet the bullet who shot and killed them? And the Bible says what you're not supposed to be doing is killing folks, and you are literally killing folks by your hands. So what are the you have to have a strong mental first as a qualification, or you have to be a psychopath. Let's be honest. You actually have to be like really strong psychologically to like the pros and cons. You have to be a Libra, or your ass gonna have to be a Virgo. Like, one of those are. You know what? It might be one of those damn Scorpios. It could be a Scorpio. Like, hey, that's how they chose to die. I was just helping them out. It could have been a Scorpio. Those are the qualifications. But that's weird. That's weird. It's 20. Like, I feel like this is something we should be reading about, like a story that happened in 1902. CNN host Don Lemon, who lives in a $4.3 million home where 80% of his residents are white, says that we are living in 2 different realities as Black and white people. Lemon, 55 years old, told the Washington Post that there has been a false reality that racism no longer exists after the U.S. election of its first Black president, Barack Obama. The election of Donald Trump then became a wake-up call to white people. We're living in two different realities as Black and white people. The CNN host described the video of George Floyd's murder as an equalizer. He said its timing was especially impactful because we didn't know what was going to happen or if we were going to have a job due to the pandemic. Lemon, who is Black, earns $4 million annual salary as a staple on CNN. He lives in a $4.3 million 4-bedroom cottage in New York City. 80% of his population is white and just 3% is Black. What's the other percent? Asians? What's the other percent? He also owns a 3-bedroom condo in a predominantly Black neighborhood of Harlem, but sold it for $1.5 million in February because gentrification is real. And you got these white folks in Atlanta, Georgia, talking about they want to exceed, like they want to be Texas and come from the Union and have their own stateship. A wealthy Atlanta suburb of Buckhead. I don't know if y'all know Buckhead for real, but I was looking at properties in Buckhead when it was a pretty house here and a crack house there and a pretty house here and a crack house here. Like Buckhead just became the Buckhead that you know to be Buckhead. Did they have nice properties? Yes, but nice properties in the South ain't hard. You can work at McDonald's and own a 3-bedroom house. It's not hard to have a nice apartment, a nice and those units. As far as like equalizer is concerned, for over 10 years, it has slowly become from the hood to a neighborhood that white folks actually feel comfortable living in. And that's why you saw that video of the gunshots. Somebody was like, oh my God, they're shooting in Buckhead. And everybody was so appalled. And I was just like, y'all must be new here. Did you move in recently? Are you new to the neighborhood? That's the key phrase. Are you new to the neighborhood? The community activist leading the secession movement spoke on Thursday. Bill White is leading the effort for wealthy Buckhead suburbs to form its own city. We filed our divorce papers at the city of Atlanta and our divorce is final, he said. Residents are frustrated as crime rates in the neighborhood skyrocket. On June 5th, the father of 3, Andrew Worrell, was shot and injured while jogging. Because his name is Bill White, accuses Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms of ignoring rising crime. Bottoms on Wednesday signed order designated all city bathrooms all gendered. You know what? I was thinking about this. So transparency. We are in a huge building and all of the bathrooms are like male and female and male and female. And I know I'm supposed to be getting steps in, but I'm not traveling down 3 flights of stairs to go to the women's bathroom when there's a men's bathroom right here. And I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know why we make like such a big deal to use the bathroom, because you share a bathroom with your brother, you share a bathroom with your boyfriend, you share a bathroom with your father. Like, y'all share bathrooms. Y'all ain't in the same stall together. I absolutely will go to the men's bathroom. I have no problem. Ain't nobody looking at you. Don't nobody want you. Ain't nobody coming for you. You do your thing and take a piss. I got to pee too. Wash your hands before you leave. If not, I'm going to talk trash. Like, I understand when it comes to little kids and when it comes to like the transgendered, oh my God, we're scared. But y'all share bathrooms with the opposite sex every single day. Grow up. Grow up. So I get it when it comes to little ass kids, but you ain't supposed to be letting little kids go to the bathroom by themselves. No way. Because they don't know how to wipe themselves properly. So it's frustrating and it's annoying, and there's creeps everywhere. There's creeps that go into the women's bathroom. You don't need permission to go into the bathroom for it to, all of a sudden commit a crime. They've been committing crime. Like, laws don't mean anything to criminals. and this is what I be talking about, like inefficiency, common sense. Carnival Cruise Line reveals it was hit by a fourth data breach in 18 months after hackers can I speak today? Access personal and health information of guests, employees, and crews, and four in the last 18 months. And so I want to be clear because we've been having this conversation recently and often. Hey, good rising. The comments were shortened. Scooters in the hood. Good rising. Fix a drink Friday. Mike, I cannot drink because they're empty calories for me, and I have a goal and I am going to meet that goal. And then when I hit that goal, then we'll have a drink. But we're not there yet. So just give me a second to hit that goal for a second, because this beer belly and I don't drink beer is a problem. Have fingers, roll shoot. I don't know what that means. Electrician for the chair and an RN for the needle. Thank you, G. And you're right. And it's completely different when it's you by your hand and a rifle on a firing squad. And so the Carnival Cruise Line has been hacked. New York City law, like the legal side or the like criminal side, was hacked recently. Politicians, congressmen and women, senators have been hacked, 60 of them across both Fire Up Friday. Guess what I got yesterday? I got my email for the Ardent Easy Bake Machine. And so for those who do not know, I interviewed Chanel Lindsay. I called her Lindsay the other day, Chanel Lindsay. She is the owner of the Ardent, and it's the Easy Bake Ardent. And you're able to decarbonize your weed. And so when you smoke weed, from what I learned, when you smoke weed, the weed isn't activated until it gets hot. So all these years I've been chewing on stick stems means absolutely nothing because it wasn't activated. You have to heat it up a little bit to activate it. And so after you heat it up, it's completely activated. You can then cook with it, put it in food, eat it as is. Did you know that after activation, you could just eat weed? You don't even have to smoke it. You could just eat it and you'll get high nonetheless. You can put it in, she said that she uses it in salads. You can make all of your cookies and candies and sweets and this and that. Whatever you want to do, you can do that. Use it as parsley and put it on top of your pasta. However you want to use it after it's decarbed, you can, whatever. But the machine also allows you to make oil using your weed, and then you strain out or use a cheese thing or whatever. I don't know how to do those things yet. I'm not there yet, but I got my email saying that it is now being processed because it was on back order. So if you guys have already got yours or have already put your order in and haven't received it, is what I was trying to say. It was because it was on back order, and I got my email yesterday, and I'm super excited because that means that it's going away, and we could go ahead and have a demonstration on air with Chanel Lindsay for the Easy Bake Ardent. And so we do have, for those who want to get theirs, it is bit.ly/spark. And I didn't realize that you have to use like capitals the way that I did it. Ardent. And so somebody make sure I did that correctly. Go on and copy paste and make sure it works. But it has to be like a capital S, a capital U. And I don't know if Ardent is E-N-T or A-N-T. I think it's E-N-T. So it should work for you to get your Ardent Easy Bake Ardent. Super excited for that. Jasmine is in 10 minutes. What was the other news article that I wanted to read for you really quickly? The House votes to appeal the 2002 authorization that Bush used to invade Iraq in a move supported by Biden that will rein in the president's power to go to war. Why do I feel like this is important? Because and Bush actually said it. I recently saw the reclip of it where he was just like, war makes money. Like there's a lot of money in war. And so why are we always at war? Because there's so many companies. Like think of Lockheed. Think of who were the little nasty people who was raping folks overseas? All of the government contracts for point billions and this point trillions of dollars, like a lot. I remember reading an article about a bomb costing like $100 million. These are tax-paying dollars, that $100 million of our tax-paying dollars going to bomb another country, where those that are actually affected by the bomb didn't do a damn thing to us. So and that's why, like, when Omar went ahead and said that the U.S. engages in atrocities all of the time, and our monies go to murdering. It's absolutely a fact. It's such a fact. And because that's not what's in the news, just because that's not what was taught in our history classes, if you don't do your due diligence, you're not going to have any clue what the hell happened, or why we don't like this nation, or why we have allies with this, or why we're giving humanitarian aid to that. Like, once you understand the history of who we are and how we conduct ourselves, you'll see America differently. There's consequences and repercussions to being a superpower, and we're a bully. In truth of the matter, San Francisco substitute teacher, 65 years old, pleads guilty to sex tourism after traveling to Vietnam to sexually assault boys as young as 11. Do you guys remember that? What was it like? It wasn't a Lifetime movie. It was like a 60 seconds clip, and it went viral before viral was really a big thing, about the different doctors that were going overseas and wealthy white men that were going overseas. And it was an entire sting, and they, tracked down 3 different high-end gentlemen that were going overseas to rape little boys. And imagine being that grossed out. Because a trip to Vietnam ain't cheap. Now, once you get there, it's a little bit more sustainable. But to actually get there is to rape somebody. That's that life in prison. 30 years? Now that is premeditated. You done messed this kid's life up forever. Mind you, we have no rules, laws, regulations. There's nothing we could do in Vietnam to protect from these predators. But I don't know if anybody remembers. I remember that story. I was young when it came out. I might have been in like my early 20s. And I was baffled by the thought that somebody would pay that amount of money to go overseas to commit rape to a boy. Like, it just, Ohio State House representative indicted on $60 million bribery scheme is expelled from the legislature. The first time lawmakers have banished a colleague in 150 years. And so Ohio State Speaker Larry Householder, 62, was expelled from state legislature by an overwhelming partisan 75-21. The other 21 that voted for him to stay, you might want to take a look at their financial records. Because they're like, nah, you ain't gonna kick me out too. I'm guilty of this crime. Y'all don't look in between the lines. Go check their finances and come back to me. Householder is a Republican and was arrested last year along with 4 other associates in a $60 million bribery case. The conspiracy involved the passing of House Bill 6, the first energy nuclear bailout bill that was signed into law in 2019. I want you to pay attention to all of the nuclear bills that come out in the future, and whether the 21 on the other side who wanted him to stay in session have any connections with that. Like, these are tall tales right here, snitching on themselves. 4 associates are lobbyists. Lobbyists get paid a lot of money to grease the palms. You have to do it a certain way and within the stipulations of how you can maneuver according to laws in America. So just don't, I want to be clear that this story absolutely takes the lid off. This reminds me of the Pelican Brief. That's what it is. I couldn't figure out what the hell it reminded me of. The Pelican Brief. For those old enough, y'all remember. I want to be very clear. just because this one person was expelled for the first time in 150 years, the reason why most of them don't get expelled in 100, like he blatantly broke the law, blatantly, like it was too much. It was too much. We have to kick you out. But for the most part, a lot of these politicians are bought and paid for. It's just bought and paid for differently. And so I say all of that to say, accountability is real. It's not something that we actually hold near and dear when it comes to our politicians. We know what it is. We know it's a game. We continue to play with it. Just like being in a relationship with somebody that you know is constantly cheating on you, but you're like, hey, what am I going to do? And you simply accept it and just get mad when they only come around when, of course, this other significant other isn't acting right. And like, oh, so your girlfriend mad at you, huh? Don't come over here with that. And that's the only time that they come and talk to us, when it's time to run, when it's time to be reelected. That's the only time that anyone ever pays attention. And so until you cut off toxic behavior, we want to talk about toxic relationships when it comes to our friends, when it comes to our family, when it comes to our significant others, but you don't want to talk about the toxic relationship we have with our government, with the people who take money from you. Yo, when I started paying taxes, I started seeing life differently. Like, nah, no means no. But unfortunately, not everybody sees it that way. And so I am TaylaAndre. We are coming to the top of the hour. I just want to make sure that Jasmine is all set. She said that she will see us shortly. And so we are going to leave this current live. We're going to go over to Jasmine jet setting, porn star, everything, King Noir, all of that. Freaky Friday about to be all the way lit today. And so if you are currently on any of the TaylaAndre platforms, please go over to SparkFM. That is, go to the YouTube on Spark, go to the Facebook on Spark, download the app on Spark so you can listen to us in your car all day long. This whole weekend is finna be lit. The DJs are off the hook. I don't know if y'all listen to Spark, but we got the best DJs in the city, in the nation, period. Did I hear about the 3.2 billion they're giving for a COVID pill? Yo, so Danielle and Hot Sauce and Friends in The Rising was on earlier, and they were reading a article about China putting together a male and a female rat in order for the male to carry babies, and he did. He carried babies. The babies were born. They had sex with other rats, and they had babies that were born. And so I say all of that to say a lot of what's in this trillions of dollars, of billions of dollars of these different bills that were passed, and only 7% going to the American people. Y'all should be getting $150,000 check right now. If y'all really understood what the hell was happening as far as these bills are concerned, you should be getting $150 check. That's your stimulus. This $1,500, you should be getting $150,000, because so much of that money is going into research and development. So much of that money is going into the dark matter of all of the things that we can't talk about because we're trying to figure out how to be better. We're trying to go to space. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. All of these things that America is trying to do, we're going to put out the facade that we're trying to help you, but we're really taking that money for ourselves and diddling in all of these doodles that we have. So we gambling hard and heavy when it comes to all of the finances, and it's not doing anything but putting us in debt as a country. You want to talk about a suit, like we have nothing behind us. We have no gold. We have no silver, no rubies, no gems. We have nothing. When you look at these other countries, what is their ish backed by? Something tangible. We keep printing money over. I'm on a tangent and it's Freaky Friday. Let's transition. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have an amazing day. We're going to shut this down and come back up. Y'all come to Spark. For those that are listening on their Spark, on the Spark app, hey, how you doing? I'm going to go ahead and play these commercials and we're going to transition. Mwah.
Call Spark FM at 617-272-3387.
There's no two ways about it. The past year has seen little but challenge after challenge. Now change is in the air, and a chance to get back to the things we love is right in front of us. back to family and friends, back to travel, back to dancing, dining, and shops, back into the community we so miss. Do your part. Get vaccinated simply and for free. Schedule your appointment now at dmc.org/get vaccinated.
With every vaccination, we're taking a step toward a better future, a step toward seeing our friends, toward family gatherings and backyard barbecues, toward cheering for our home teams at Fenway, the Garden, and Gillette, a step toward hugging grandma. Every vaccination brings us one step closer to hope. Hope is what we need. With the COVID-19 vaccine, hope is what we have. Join us. Get vaccinated. Have hope. Call 311 or visit boston.gov/COVID-19-vaccine.
Finally, home is a must-read step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time home buyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, homeownership, and generational wealth. Finally, Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged in the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. TaylaMade Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag, it is real estate agent and radio personality TaylaAndre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate and